Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are on a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
What a great time to be alive. What a great time to be a wrestling fan. I say it so many times when I talk to people. I'm fine, by the way, Conrad, but I'm just really happy to be here with you once again. I'm always happy. Did you know that?
You're not always happy. Sometimes you're grumpy.
Yeah, well, that's being grumpy, but deep down inside, I'm happy. Grumpy on the exterior, but deep down inside, I'm happy. Oh, and by the way, I guess I can say this right now. It was announced during Double or Nothing on Sunday that the next two pay-per-view events have been booked.
Oh, how about that?
That's right. And our next two will be in Chicago, then in St. Louis. And starting in the month of July, we are going to go out week to week and back live on the road. So God bless America, right?
God bless the low-key big hogs and the top guys over at Ad Free Shows too. You guys have been made aware of some pretty fun developments, and we're excited about that. We're finally getting back to normal, you know, with wrestling on the road and us having our get-togethers. It's
right.
It's feeling like COVID's in the rearview mirror a little bit. Hopefully, knock on wood.
Me too. I agree with you. Hopefully, it's in the rearview mirror. I remember during all this how they kept quote unquote talking about the new normal. There's no such thing as a new normal.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as the old normal. What's going on right now is normal. So it changes, and it's a good time. And I do want to say this. I like to start out the show by saying this. When you do a certain level on WHW Monday, our Patreon channel, you get a phone call from me.
Yeah.
And I've been making phone calls, and I called a gentleman out in California named Michael Velez recently. We had a very, very long talk about how much our podcast means to him.
Oh, that's nice.
And how much, and this is, you and I talk about this a lot, how it makes everything that we do, it validates everything we do. This is why we do it. Obviously we do it for a myriad of reasons, but we do it. What makes us feel good about it is when we can hear from someone that says, you know what, my life's kind of in turmoil right now in many ways. Not to say that Michael's is, and I can just listen to you guys. And sometimes I listen to two of them back to back. And it just takes me out of what's going on in my life and puts a smile on my face. And that means everything to me. And I wanted Michael to know that here, because he is taking care of his father, who's in his 70s. And he has to deal with that. And so I'm glad. Michael, it was great talking to you. You're a very good guy. And everybody that I've talked to the last week or so, thank you for the feedback. Because we have fun. We're two friends watching a wrestling show, talking about the years behind us and having fun and making fun of stuff, including me. So if we can put a smile on your face, damn it, we're doing something right.
Let's talk about some smiles that aren't going around. The Ultimate Warrior documentaries. We've seen both now.
Mm,
The A&E one and the Dark Side of the Ring one sparked a
mhm,
lot of controversy over the last week.
mhm.
Did you catch either, or are you just not
Not yet.
yet?
Not yet. I haven't. The last one I saw was Nick Gage.
Mm.
That's the last one I saw, and then I guess there was
Collision in Korea.
Collision in Korea, which I have not seen, and I'm behind on those.
I think there is a fascinating piece of footage that you would enjoy from the A&E effort on the Ultimate Warrior, where they had sort of behind the scenes and um, I don't know, never before seen footage of the famous quote unquote Vince apology. So I guess the Ultimate Warrior was rude to a son or a father son duo, and it turns out the father was a well connected person who had
Mm,
ties to Vince McMahon. So as a result, Vince had the Ultimate Warrior cut an apology video one night when they're at the matches. And Warrior was frustrated with it and struggling with it. And you can hear Vince coaching him off camera. It's fascinating. You would love it.
okay, that's on the A&E episode.
Yeah. He says
Okay.
the phrase, it's a work, Jim. We're working here.
Mm,
And as long as I've been a wrestling fan, I don't know that I've ever heard Vince's voice say, it's a work, Jim.
mm.
We're working here. It was like, this is cool. So I went into it thinking, man, I don't know what else there is to talk about with the Ultimate Warrior. And I came away thinking, man, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
And then the dark side one, you get to hear from Warrior's first wife.
yeah,
And I know that you were up there at really the crowning moment of his career, and she
yeah,
breaks all that down and how he changed afterwards, and just a
yeah,
lot to, as I like to say, a lot to unpack. So
yeah,
if you grew up a little Ultimate Warrior fan like I was, I mean, I had an Ultimate Warrior birthday cake when I was 9.
yeah.
I mean, I was like the biggest Ultimate Warrior fan ever. So it's cool to see his story, for lack of a better phrase, warts and all.
That's tremendous. I did have some dealings with him. I had some dealings as far as him doing interviews. We did an Ultimate Warrior video cassette, and then obviously I was there up there during the time where he was making the big run towards WrestleMania 6. But I also had an assistant. She has since passed. I don't need to say her name. She was my assistant at Coliseum Videos, and she went on to quit the WWE and start working for the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
And I think I may have touched on this story before. She
Yeah.
contacted me and said, "Should I do this?" And I said, "No, you shouldn't," because of the type of person I knew he was in real life. And she did, and moved from Connecticut to Arizona. And before she got unpacked, he fired her. And she called me crying. And so anyway, that's the only glimpse of Jim behind the scenes that I can tell you from my perspective. I had a good relationship, good working relationship with him. He always had a smile and something nice to say to me. But then again, I go back to this, they all do, right?
Yeah.
They're all nice to me. And the ones that there are some that are very nice to me because they genuinely are good people, and there's some very nice to me because they know that, or they feel that I'm important to their careers. And what they don't understand is that I'm never going to bury anybody anyway. I'm going to always talk nice about you on TV. So, but anyway, the Ultimate Warrior was a very interesting person, very, very interesting person with quite a career. And I'm sure had a profound effect on many other 9-year-olds other than yourself.
Oh, for sure. And that's the
Yeah.
reason, it's still polarizing to this day.
Yeah.
Next week, they're covering somebody you're familiar with over on Dark Side, MJF. Just kidding. Uh, they're covering Grizzly, and
Oh, wow.
talking about Jake the Snake's dad and the whole family dynamic with Rock and Rebel and Sam Houston, or Rock and Robin, Rock and
Rockin'.
Rebel. Anyway, though, it's going to be, in my opinion, the darkest Dark Side ever, because they've
Oh,
never tackled a subject like this. Grizzly was not a nice man,
no, not at all.
and you knew
Was to me, like they all are, but was,
her.
yeah.
When did you first hear sort of the whispers of Grizzly's?
Gosh, it was after I was out of the business
Yeah,
during the 2001 to 2017 time that I was out of the business. I had heard, and I don't know where I heard it, May have heard it when you and I connected in 2017. Maybe that was my first. Probably was because I was completely removed from the business. Any rumors or innuendos or anything that happened back then. But I do know, and probably I don't know everything.
Right.
I don't know the details, but I know he was a terrible dad.
Well, it's going to be crazy, and it's happening, of course, this Thursday on Vice. Tomorrow night, as you're listening to
Mm,
this, check it out. But as a heads up, it is dark. Hey,
mm.
what wasn't dark though? This past weekend, we buried the lead, buddy. You had a capacity crowd for a pay per view in Jacksonville,
How about that?
not socially distanced, an ass every 18 inches, as our pal Jim Ross likes to say.
Yeah.
What was it like to have a live crowd again? They had to be pumped to see wrestling.
Yeah, it fires everybody up from the wrestlers to the announcers to the the officials, the referees, the people who set up the ring, the people behind the stage. It makes you better, and especially the fact that it had been so long since we had done that. The last live crowd we had was Salt Lake City in March of 2020.
Wow.
So it had been a long time, and so it was wonderful. It really is. It really is wonderful, and it shows that a couple of things. Obviously, people are ready to get back to going out and seeing things.
Yep.
Hey, who isn't, right?
Yep.
And also, people just love our product. There are a lot of people that do not love AEW and our product. I get that, and I don't know why. I've said this so many times. I don't know why people have to take sides. It's not like we're the Yankees and they're the Red Sox.
Right.
Um, but I'm very, very happy that we do have a lot of fans, and we've worked hard for that. We've worked hard to develop a relationship with fans, with AEW and with this podcast and with ad-free shows and with WHW Monday Patreon. So I think if you work hard to cultivate a fan base, it comes back to you, and it did on during Double or Nothing. It was a great night.
Well, I was excited. I had a house full here. I didn't get to make it down for this one, but people
Mm.
were fired up to see wrestling the way we used to enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Sure, the way the old school way, which is what you and I are all about, old school.
Speaking of old school, that's why we're here today. You didn't tune in to just hear Tony and I filibuster and talk about here, there, and yawn. We're talking about World Championship Wrestling from May 31st, 1986. Tony, I got to tell you, I continue to get incredibly positive feedback about what we're doing here with our march through 1986. Are you seeing the same thing?
I sure am. I'm seeing the same thing from youngsters or from people who were around and old enough to understand what was going on, and from people who are too young. I guess you being one, really,
Yeah.
to understand. In other words, this is not part of it's part of your childhood, but it's not part of your childhood memories,
Yeah.
like the Ultimate Warrior.
Sure.
But so I'm hearing a great feedback from everyone. And I think one of the reasons is because how great the characters were back then, and how they were able to, as you just said, filibuster, talk on camera. I go back to this every time, and I know I'm right. The way to get over is to be able to cut a promo.
Yes.
You obviously got to work,
Yeah.
but you got to be able to cut a promo. If you can't cut a promo, you're not going to stand out. And these people that we're getting ready to see could cut a promo. And today we have a debut too, which is a big one. Ray Traylor is going to transform today.
Pretty over the top promo from Jim Cornette too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I love over the top shit, man. Love it.
It's the best.
Yep,
And
it is.
our fair share of it here for May 31st, 1986. And Tony, it feels like we've had a lot of people who are curious. Hey, I like the show. I love the show, but I feel like, it would be better if I could watch along. I just don't know how to do that since these shows aren't loaded on the network. Well, here's a little pro tip for you. Check the comments. The comments may have a clue of how you can watch along with us. That's the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so without further ado, I think usually, as a rule of thumb, we have a countdown. Do we have a countdown today, Tony?
Got a countdown, and it's going to start us for this 1 hour journey of World Championship Wrestling. And here it is. 3, 2, 1, play. Hmm.
What a great edit. Right when the mask's about to come off, here comes the intro. What building were they in?
That looked like Spartanburg to me.
They were hot, boy.
Yeah, they were. And that was obviously not
Dusty.
Magnum and Dusty. Yeah. So when the mask comes off, it reveals to be someone else. So
thanks for the spoiler, you mother.
Well, come on. You could tell that. It wasn't as, the guy wasn't as, oh, wow.
Wrestling World Championship Wrestling. I'm David Crockett. With me is Tony Schiavone. Tony, we've got an exciting hour of World Championship Wrestling for you. We've got the greatest wrestlers in the world. We've got the bash update. We've got the conference signing, the press conference signing, the Russians, and something happened there, as you well know. We've got to show you that. Ricky Morton is injured.
Yep.
At the hands of Ric Flair.
Shattered the nose of Ricky Morton, did the world heavyweight champion. We're going to take a look at that. But now let's bring in right now, you hear the cheers, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Baby Doll.
You know, a lot of exciting things are happening in the world of professional wrestling. The Great American Bash throughout this country is the greatest sporting event in the history promoted by any promoter anywhere in the world, Jack. And Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. I want to say one personal thing to Washington, D.C. and RFK State and all the many fans out there. You know that there are a lot of brothers out there in Washington, D.C. that watch Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. And they know one thing, that Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream wants to be the world's heavyweight champion. And RFK Stadium and see some of the greatest football teams of all time. But Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, intends, and Washington, D.C. has taken the world's heavyweight title. And now the Midnight Express talking about the James boys. I don't know about the James boys. I don't care about the James boys. All I know is, without a doubt, that Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA are going to get the job done to the Midnight Express, because we all in it together, living on the edge of that lightning bolt crashing across the sky. And baby, I got something to say to Jimmy Cornette.
Cornette, say whatever you want to about me, about the James boys, about Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA, but I guarantee you, Dolly's boys, which consist of Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA, we're going to get you by the end of the bash, and that's a promise.
All right, fans, let's go to the ring.
Listen to that music. I really hope we get a shout out to San Antonio after this. Hector Guerrero, Manny Fernandez coming to the ring
with Dave Silva as their manager. Well, that'd have been great. I love Hector, man. Oh, God. Love the Guerrero family. Jeez.
I was on a Southwest flight with him one time, and I didn't know what I know about Hector now. So I was like, holy shit, it's Lasertron.
Yeah, I guess Hector will always have a part of him be Lasertron, right?
You more of a Hector guy or a Manny Fernandez guy?
Oh, well, that's a tough call. I know Manny a lot better, put it that way, because anyway, Manny was always in the garage. I call it the garage, but the studios doing interviews. So I got to know him, and he was a lot of fun. I guess I'm more of a Manny guy. I guess more than anything else, though, I'm a Eddie Guerrero guy.
Oh, yeah.
No?
Right, yes.
Yeah. So.
By the way, there's no denying that those fellas are related, is it?
No denying.
No denying.
No denying. Man, you know, old Thunderfoot had a different color mask and uniforms and everything, didn't he, man? We've seen him in kind of a day-glow yellow and green, and now here he is in white. And Joel Deaton spent a little bit of money on his stuff.
If Joel Deaton had a flesh-colored outfit, what would his name be? Instead of Thunderfoot, would it be Thunder Dick?
Ball. Thunder Penis?
I don't think they would have called him that.
I don't think so either.
But, you know, Dick is people's name. Like we had Dick the Bruiser.
Yeah.
And we had Dick Murdoch. What's wrong with a little Thunder Dick?
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in with us, just got to win, the Thunder Dick. Richard, I want to let you know that you certainly did. I just never did understand that.
What?
And I want to apologize up front to anyone named Dick.
Oh, no, I totally agree. Here's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Thunder Dick. We could, if we make that a thing, we could work it into our Blue Chew spots. If you're looking for some of that Thunder Dick, you don't need Joel Deaton or a mask. You need Blue Chew.
Then have a crash of thunder sound effect. How about that?
Can you imagine? And then we could play that AC/DC.
Yeah. Probably couldn't get away with that.
Oh, we could play a few seconds of it.
Yeah, I guess you can. There's so many seconds you can get away with or something.
That's what she said.
Boom. But
are you acting like that wouldn't hit, dude?
Yeah.
For a YouTube or Blue Chew? Come on. Just took my Blue Chew. You know what it's time? Oh, you can hear him in the background.
Thunder. Here it comes.
Come on. This is taking longer than I thought. That's what she said. When the Blue Chew kicks in.
Wow. We've come up with something.
I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. Flying burrito.
Woo.
And that is it. Your winners, Hector Guerrero and the Raging Bull.
Okay, fans, back at ringside, here is the World TV Champion, Arn Anderson.
Maybe Emmanuel Fernandez would like to try that maneuver on me sometime, Tony Schiavone. I'm sure he would. The Great American Bash, the greatest sporting event ever in the history of any promotion, is coming all throughout this country in the upcoming months. Right or wrong, Tony Schiavone? And one of the topics of the World Television title. I don't care who it is. I want top contenders when I'm in the arena with 25 or 50,000 people, because Tony Schiavone, I base my credibility on one thing. That's defending this against the top competitors in the world today. And as you see, I do it week in and week out right on this television. Right or wrong?
Right.
That's the reason when I tell you something is going to happen, and I've been talking about all along the 4 horsemen, not 3. I'm talking about 4 horsemen, and you know who that is. That's my cousin, Ole Anderson, a man that taught me quite a bit about tag team wrestling and one thing alone about being a man. So Dusty Rhodes, when you and those 300-pound Road Warriors did what you did, and you know what I'm talking about, I told you there would be a rebuttal. So somewhere in this great land, at the time of our choosing, Ole Anderson will show back up. You can bank on that.
Back right after this timeout.
You know, he was just teasing last week that he'll be here next week, and now he's saying, oh, it's the time of our choosing. Interesting.
I like how he said, taught me a lot about being a man.
Yeah.
Suffered by Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express into the hands of the World Heavyweight Champion, Nature Boy Ric Flair. We're going to take a look at that. Fans, you're not really going to like what you're going to be seeing, but we need to take a look at this right now. Let's go to that tape. David,
All right,
match.
Watch Ricky Morton. He has, watch the referee out. Now watch it. He goes down for that pin. Now you count it. He has the man beaten right there.
Ricky Morton, it's obvious the man can stay right in the ring with a heavyweight champion of the world. He has proved that time and time again.
Here they come.
How many times have we seen this?
So many times. All right, Iron Anderson, Tully Blanchard, J.J. Dillon comes in. They start to stomp away on him. They did this one time before. They rubbed his face in the concrete. Now they take him.
And there's nothing a man can do, regardless how good athlete you are, when there's a 4-on-1.
Look at Ric Flair. He takes his time, gets his position, drops a knee right across the head, puts his face right.
With just breaking the nose, he wanted to injure the man even further. And fans, take a look at this tape. This happened just right after what you saw happen to Ricky Morton. Dave, we're going to take a look at slow motion. Watch the knee and watch the head of Ricky Morton.
Look at the head bounce, just like a ball. Again, shattering that nose.
Shattering the nose of Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express. Dusty Rhodes comes in, and Ricky, Obviously, this is not the situation you want to be in, but it's good to see you and Robert out here.
Tony, let me tell you something. It's all started right here. Ric Flair, you come out here on TV, brother, you try to put us down. You put the nice people down, and I'll put you in your place. Now, what gets him down, Tony, is a point of jealousy because you know you can't beat the Rock and Roll Express no time, any place, or anywhere. So you thought by coming out, getting Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and J.J. Dillon, not breaking my nose, Tony, but crushing it, that it's going to stop us? No way, brother. You're not going to stop us, Flair. Because you see right here, I got two of them, specially made, brother, to step right back in the ring. You may crush my nose, brother, but my nose is a long way from my heart. And I'm going to prove to you, because the way I was brought up, baby, it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And we're going to sell it that way. Woo!
The Rock and Roll Express will take this brief timeout and be right back.
Okay, angle for the bash.
And we're back with Wahoo McDaniel and Vernon Deaton.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I quickly did a little search. May 26th, Greenville, South Carolina. The main event was Dusty Rhodes, Ricky Morton, and Robert Gibson wrestling Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson in an elimination match.
Uh-huh.
So it came down to those two.
Okay.
And Morton got triple teamed and suffered a legit broken nose. What do you remember about Ricky Morton showing up with a real deal broken nose?
Yeah. Well, I remember he was really hurting. We knew that. But also, you know, Ricky being the pro that he is, realized it's all a part of the business and realized it's probably a pretty damn good angle.
Yeah.
Right? If you get hurt and it's not like a knee or maybe a neck injury to where you can't work, you can work around that. It was a good visual, hell of a visual. So, and if you didn't know any better, you'd think it was another work. You'd think that he put black on his eye. It was good. We all liked it, man. Except Ricky.
Oh, look at him. Electricity.
Place where he belongs, Tony. I just wanted to come out here and give you my opinion. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin's a good friend of mine, and he's taking care of business when he gets in that ring with the big Indian.
All right.
So calling Steve Regal Mr. Electricity is akin to calling Conrad Thompson Mr. Fitness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So I might start doing that. Mr. Fitness.
Mr. Electricity. Maybe he was Mr. Electricity in the AWA. Not sure. But as you mentioned last week when he made his debut on the show, his run did not last long.
Yeah.
So, Wahoo, man. Wahoo, another guy that could just fucking, they're obviously, I know we've talked about this a lot, but legitimate, tough motherfucker. And I got a text from somebody recently who's doing a book on Wahoo and said he wanted to talk to me about my experiences with Wahoo. And I lost the text. I deleted it. And I'm sorry about that.
So if you're listening
and you're the author,
again,
text me again. You got the number. You got it from, no, I'm not so sure who you got it from, but
didn't get it from me. I promise.
No, the only thing that you give out is my address.
It's only on the air. I don't send it to people individually.
No. And obviously I do not get any cards and letters at the house because of it. Let's go back to David.
Press conference with Magnum TA. You just got to see it to believe it.
Let's take a look at that press conference for the signing of the U.S. Heavyweight title match on television.
Hello, I'm Sandy Scott, representing the National Wrestling Alliance and appearing on behalf of Jim Crockett Promotions. I have with me a contract for Magnum TA to defend the United States Heavyweight Championship on Saturday, June the 7th on the Superstation WTBS with a 60-minute time limit against the challenge of Nikita Koloff. You sign this contract, please. The last page.
It's Magnum's mom with him.
Really?
Yeah. She passed away not too long ago.
Oh, shit. I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
Last page, please.
June 7th. Yes, 60 minutes, yes. Yes, I'm sure everything is just the way we had agreed upon. Yes, nephew. Nikita.
Shatota. Nikita S. Scott Simpson, Golden, Minnesota. Wait a minute. Nikita Koloff. There you go. Right. Okay. Phew.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. The match is now officially signed and sanctioned, and I understand that Ivan Koloff, as a spokesman for challenger Nikita Koloff, has a statement he wishes to make at this time. Ivan?
I'm glad we are having this press conference. Because of all the controversy in signing the contract, coming to terms, it is important now to let the whole world know that everything is agreed upon. And Magnum TA on June the 7th, as much as the American people admire you, look up to you as United States heavyweight champion, on June the 7th, the Superstation, you are going to meet my nephew Nikita, the superior athlete. And on this date, he is going to defeat you for the United States heavyweight title. How come all the time now you bring your mother around? You like how you say in this country, you like maybe these mama boy, maybe got these Hebron string to you. Maybe she's a contract for you. You know, in the Soviet Union, woman, she know her place. And it's no in front of camera. No, Magatie, you bring her today. And now you prove to Nikita that a Russian woman got a much more class than stinking American woman.
Wow, Sandy took a bump.
What are you doing?
June the 7th, a new United States heavyweight champion.
Well, it's not really the way you wanted to see the press conference end, but we're here with Jim Crockett Jr., president of Jim Crockett Promotions. Finally, the match has been signed.
That's right. It's taken many months to get the match signed. But next Saturday here on the Superstation, we will have the U.S. title match. And I regret that Magnum fell prey to the psychological warfare of the Russians, but we will have that match.
And that is next week right here on the Superstation for that U.S. heavyweight title. We'll be right back.
Dude, I know we could pick that apart and make fun certain parts, but that was great shit.
Yeah. That was good.
Oh my God. And now Shaska's here. Oh, I love 1986. How can you not be excited about Shaska versus a Mulkey?
I know.
You know, it's going to be entertaining and somebody's going to get their ass whooped. I just hope that Mr. Mulkey doesn't wind up being a ball-headed geek sucker. He's subject to with Shaska. We all know that. It's been well.
Ain't that right, boss?
I'm not listening to Paul Jones. Dude,
nah.
The whole scene that we just saw with Nikita.
Yeah.
First of all, I love the way both of them do their put on Russian accents. How you say in this country?
Yeah, no, yo,
boy.
He would always use how you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But then two things. I love the second shot where they're trying to get a shot directly of Magnum and his mom for a moment stopped while she's being insulted, stops looking at the guy and looks at the camera, and then comes back. That was fun.
I know.
But then instead, when we get the wide shot, I thought we were in like an office building. No, it was clearly a TV set.
Right.
Where there's just like drapes hanging there
Right.
instead of walls. That
Right.
took me out of it just a little bit.
Right.
But overall, and especially that big clothesline at the bump. I mean, the bump off the Russian sickle, that was legit. That was fun.
And Sandy legitimately took a bump there and just, as a pro would do, just stay out of the action. It's all them, right? Just lay her there.
It was super fun too. That the thing that got him so pissed off is, don't you call my mama stinky. I'm gonna whoop this man's ass, shall I call my mama stinky?
And the shitty looking microphones.
Oh, I like that.
I just think, today they would be nice looking microphones with a cube.
Yeah.
Mic flag, as they say, with, NWA or whatever. And then we just, a couple of ugly mics, stick them right there. That
just crazy to think how expensive that microphone and all the recording rig had to be back then. versus now we have better technology. We could literally just pull out of our pocket and say, I'm going to click record on my phone here. And
Right.
go ahead.
Exactly. It's amazing how times have changed.
The only thing better than seeing Shaska wrestle a Mulkey would have been, with Paul Jones on commentary, would have been if Paul Jones was wrestling a Mulkey and Shaska was on commentary.
Shaska on commentary would have been great. I hope they bring him to the set here. Hey, this is a big show. Ricky Morton gets his nose broke, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
signing of the contract. Things are heating up here in 1986.
Absolutely. As we move towards the Great American Bash, which begins, I guess, in July, and this is the end of Memorial Day weekend. As we are bringing you this broadcast, it's passed in real time, but this aired right on Memorial Day weekend.
I got to tell you, I'm pretty fired up about us heating up in 1986 and this trick we have up our sleeves. Speaking of tricks, here he is, world champ.
It's your boy Ric Flair, but here he is, the heavyweight.
Before we get fired up by Ricky Morton, once again, let's show the entire sporting world that the world champion indeed is a fashion plate beyond compare. Once again, huh? Custom made. Look at it only. The world champion should look. And obviously looking a whole lot better than your friend and mine, Ricky Morton. Now, David Crockett, don't stand over there. You got something to ask me? You want to know why I did that? You want to know why Morton's walking around now? Probably with a mark that he'll carry the rest of his life. You know why? Because he dared to think that in one day in his entire life, he was half the man. Woo, and I say half the man that Ric Flair, the world champion, is. And this applies to Baby Doll. It applies to Ricky Morton. It applies to anybody that doesn't think for 1 minute that this is a man's sport. Just because I'm Slick Rick, styling and profiling, doesn't mean that I don't know how to be just as mean and tough and nasty as my job dictates I have to be. You see, to be number one, you can't always be the most popular kid on the block. So Morton, learn to live with it, punk. You dared to cross the line in the no man's land, and that made you fair game for the Four Horsemen. Okay? I'm talking about the world television champion. I'm talking about the national champion. I'm talking about the world heavyweight champion. And I'm talking about Ole Anderson, a name that's going to be back in front of all of us real soon. Now, David, come on, baby, fire something at me. What do you want to know?
Why did it take four of you?
Why did it take four of us? Did it look like I was in trouble when they came in the ring? I'll tell you how it was. Arn and Tully came down to the ring to congratulate me on another tremendous victory. Morton attacked them, and consequently, rock and roll. Let me show you about rock and roll, okay? We all know that Ricky Morton is a connoisseur of beautiful women. So you see, what I've done here is I've gone out and I've bought a bathing suit that Ricky Morton can put on one of his girlfriends. Now see, this is probably a little big for most of the girls that follow Morton around, but I'm sure that if they gain a little weight, they'll be able to wear this. Ricky Morton, rock and roll. Woo! The Nature Boy is here to stay forever and ever.
We're coming right back.
Forever and ever. He was having fun, wasn't he?
Yeah. It's one of those things where that's one of those interviews where fans ask me, how did you not laugh? How did you hold a straight? I don't know how I did. It was my job, I guess.
Right here, the national heavyweight champion, Tully Blanchard, James J. Dillon, a tape that you've been talking about now for a couple of weeks.
Well, recently, a day went down in wrestling history that's never going to be forgotten. I'm talking about Friday, May 23rd, 1986, at the Norfolk Scope. And you're going to ask me what happened that day, and I'm going to tell you, wrestling history was made because, Mr. Blanchard, it was the first time in wrestling history that Ronnie Garvin, Mr. Hands of Stone, had been knocked cold. Let's just show it, JJ. Let's roll that tape.
Let's roll the tape that Mr. Blanchard and Mr. Dillon are talking about.
Just to preface this just a little bit, what you have here, Garvin coming to the ring. Now, you know, Garvin started taking me out here on national television. Dusty Rhodes wrapping the tape up, knocked me out, embarrassed me. So how are you going to embarrass Ronnie Garvin, one of the toughest men in the world? So James J. and I had a little meeting of the minds. So I came down to the ring. You see me over there with the sling on? With the sling on. I was down there at the ring with the sling on. Everybody in the world thought I was hurt.
You really were hurt. He really wasn't hurt.
That's not the point. The point is Leo Burke, Canadian Golden Gloves champions out there to try Garvin on for size, but we've got a backup plan and a backup plan and a backup plan. Johnny Garvin, you got to get up awful early in the morning to get one up on Tully Blanchard Enterprises. So they're going through this, and Ronnie Garvin right now. You know, when I look back at this tape a little while ago, JJ, you start thinking about Roberto Duran, the other man in the history with the hands of stone. Roberto Duran, that great fighter, great killer, great puncher, great boxer. And you know, when you think about the other hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin, there I am right there, sitting there with a very confident look on my face, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, I tell you what, when J.J. Dillon's plans go in action, Jackson Brown, they go into action. Now, this is going Leo Burke in there, the Canadian Golden Gloves champion. Ronnie Garvin wants knockout or submission hold. You know, he wants this to go through the match. We're just going to let the people watch it.
This is where Garvin's ego got the best of him, knowing that Leo Burke was a former Canadian Golden Gloves boxing champion. So he figured he was going to embarrass us by going out there and knocking him out. But we were waiting for it.
Okay, you and Tully were still out there at ringside, so obviously Ron Garvin knew that maybe something was up right here.
No, Ron Garvin's ego got the best of him right here.
Ron Garvin is like taking candy from a baby. His ego overwhelmed him so bad and so great that he thought he was just out there all prim and proper going to knock a guy out and make a big impression on me. Well, the thing that comes up, you just watched Tony Schiavone. I know you hadn't seen this.
No, I have not, and Ron Garvin right there taking a shot from Leo Burke. All right, here comes. Got the shoe off.
Damn shoe.
Got the shoe off. Now right there, I'm sure that was not in the plans.
Well, I said the backup plan to the backup plan. Don't worry, we're still in control of this situation.
It's like picking up a safety blitz in football. You got to be able to react to the situation. Now you watch what happens.
Okay, he said like picking up a safety blitz in football. We're going to take a look further in this tape now. As Tommy Young counts Leo Burke out right there. And here, okay, obviously now, Tully, you got that right hand taped up.
Now see, Dusty Rhodes wants to bring the tape in. Just tape. It's just tape, ordinary tape. You use every day in every athletic event. It's just ordinary tape. But you look at Ronnie Garvin, ordinary tape, hitting Ronnie Garvin in the head, laid there like, oh, great hands of stone. Roberto Duran did when Sugar Ray Leonard beat him half to death, and he's going, no mas, no mas. Ronnie Garvin, it's just natural tape. It's just a roll you will buy $2 down in the store, Ronnie Garvin. And now the two-figure off, the final, the pile driver.
Pile driver.
Ronnie Garvin, you are not going to try to embarrass me ever again. It's taken me some 4 weeks to get back, but you will never. Now look at him, looking up at me, and you know what you heard over his breath, JJ. I know you're real close, and you like this a lot. I know what he said. He's a witness. Tell him what he said. He's looking at me. What did he say? I quit. I quit. And you know, Ronnie Garvin, that did my heart good to know that a man like you would look up at me with ordinary tape on his head, just ordinary tape. You go by at the store and look up at me and go, I quit. I quit. The only time, and you know, JJ, the first time in his great, formidable career, the hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin, the newly acclaimed United States citizen, got carried out on a stretcher with Magnum TA and all the rest of them carried him right out of the Norfolk Scope.
Tully Blanchard Enterprises. We're coming right back.
Buddy, Tully had some heat. Cheer, the fans starting to chant. We don't want to hear it.
Oh, absolutely, man. Natural heat.
That was a good angle. Oh my gosh, here we go.
Here he is.
Ladies, shut up. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the human highlight film of professional wrestling, Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express.
And we had Big Bubba here as the heavy.
We would attempt to. I would do it a lot, at least as time went on, and I got to know Ray even more because he would have to always look serious, not break care. And he was such a great kid from Dallas, Georgia, Southern boy. We would try to break him up, make him laugh.
Sure.
And it never worked. I mean, sometimes you could see a little smile across his face. I would step on his foot as I'm holding the microphone.
Oh, that's fun.
For Jim Cornette, and just say, oh, kind of like look down and glance up at him. And it was good, man. Just the whole Bubba angle I loved. And of course, when I think about Bubba, I think about him in Starrcade of that year.
Yeah.
Trying to catch Jim Cornette falling off the scaffold. And as I'm sitting there ringside looking up and he's looking up, I know there ain't no fucking way he's going to catch Jim Cornette because Jim was a big guy. I mean,
what was funny too is I think the way Jim describes it as Dusty's laying it out to him, he's like, and then Ray's going to just catch you like the cheerleaders at the football game. Like, well, they weigh 105 pounds.
Yeah, that's right.
This is a little different.
Yes. And they're coming butt first. I'm coming feet first.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
All right. That was a moment in time, man. And there he is. Big Bubba Rogers making his debut. This is quite a moment. This is the beginning of what became quite a star in wrestling.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So remember this date, guys, 31st of May, 1986. Ray Traylor will never be Ray Traylor again.
How crazy is it in hindsight to think like the next year he's main eventing everywhere?
Yeah, I know. Just it says a lot about his work ability because he could work, man. He was very good, but it also says a lot about him being really a good guy and people wanting to work with him. Because I'm telling you this, and gosh, throughout time there have been all through the years, guys have gotten ahead by really not being good guys. I mean, we talked about that earlier, but you always got a better look, I thought, if you were a good guy. And I mean, was able to work with anybody, was able to do whatever it takes, was very friendly. And Bubba was one of those guys. So I think that helped him get ahead. I think everybody liked working with him. I know, at least I think Hulk did, when he was Big Boss Man. That was a hell of a run, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine. Literally 2 years after this, he's brought into the WWF as Big Boss Man, and he's a made man.
Yeah,
I mean, he had that whole UWF run the next year with Watts, and did some great things. But it's another level when you're on the WWF and you've got action figures and you're wrestling in steel cages with Hulk Hogan at Madison Square Garden.
And the Boston Garden in the same day and selling both out. And I know because I talk about that a lot. I did both those shows.
Probably your favorite day in wrestling, you say, huh?
Ever. Yeah. Cornette. Man, he could do it, buddy. God. Man, I miss those days. Let's see. I had Matt was 4 at this time. No, he wasn't 4 yet. He would turn 4 in July. So Laurie would have been 2. Chris would have been not even 1. And the twins were yet to come. That's how small our family was at that time.
When you look back at your wrestling career, does it seem like it went by super fast?
Yeah, my whole life seems that way. It really does.
You just wake up one day and you're old.
Yeah. And I think everybody who's gotten to my age feels the same way. Have I told you what what a psychologist told me about that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't know you were in therapy.
Well,
I'm not judging. I'm happy for you.
No, I'm not in therapy, but I have been with my wife.
Oh, well, congratulations.
And this was years ago. So we worked things out. And he talked about this, and I think And I think everybody should remember this because I think it's very important. It has nothing to do with how to act. We're going to have a 1, 2, 3 here first, but I've got to tell you this because I think it's pretty spot on.
I think we're going to have a promo if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. They're walking towards the podium. Look at Bobby, man.
Jim Cornette, Bubba
Rogers,
and the Midnight
Loverboy,
Express.
Dennis, and beautiful Bobby. You all know him. And you know something, Tony? I've said many times that my mother's a wealthy woman. She has a lot of influence with people. Well, Bubba Rogers is an old friend of the Cornette family from Louisville, Kentucky. Every time that my mother's had a little job that needed to be done or a debt that needed to be collected, some little errand or something, Bubba's been more than happy to do it for a little financial recompensation. But, you know, hey, everybody's out to make a living. And Bubba was sitting down here because you see with those backstabbing, back-jumping James boys on the loose, Dusty and Magnum, with them trying to jump me from behind, do me bodily harm. These men are the World Tag Team Champions. They got to concentrate on getting in that ring and defending their title and wrestling the best they know how, which they're the best at. So Mama sent Bubba down to be my bodyguard, Tony. And from now on, I'm going to say this, James boys, and anybody else that wants to lay a finger on me or do me any kind of harm, you're going to have to go through Bubba Rogers. And believe me, James boys, you talk about being outlaws. Well, Bubba Rogers has done some pretty nasty things in his time, and he's not opposed to doing a few more as a favor to me and my mother. He's been taking care of me for a long time now. So, James boys, that's the notice. Bubba Rogers is my bodyguard. Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby are going to be defending the World Tag Team titles as best they know how, and I know what you're going to say.
We want to see it tape.
The James boys, they're back jumpers. In addition to that, Jim Crockett Promotions on their side.
Let's take a look at the
Everybody
tape
else
that we're
better-
talking
we wanna
about.
look at the tape.
You're talking about unmasking the James boys, David. That's what he's been talking about for a long time. We're going to take a look at the
Jim
James
Crockett
boys.
Promotions is on their side. Everybody's on their side because the plain fact of the matter is we would have had them right here if it hadn't been for the sneaky trick. Look at that. We come in the ring. Hey, they talk about being outlaws. Well, outlaws
We're coming
come
in
the ring.
after the James boys.
Yeah.
And now, Jim, here is your chance to expose the James boys.
We're trying to expose the James boys, but look what happens. Look what happens. As soon as I get in the ring, I tell my boys, I said, get the mask off that clown. Let's see his ugly face. Let's show the whole world his face. And look at this, the ultimate indignity. Jim Crockett Promotions, I know is behind it. I know that everybody was paid off to do this. It's that bum, that no good clown, Tony Zane. And look who's behind it.
He's one of the James boys.
Dusty Rod. No, it wasn't one of the James boys.
Well, they came
He
with the
wasn't
black
one of the
mask
James boys.
and the,
He was one of the
and the
fake-
riding coats.
He was one of the fake James boys. He wasn't one of the real James boys because the real James boys are fake James boys. That's right. I mean, the Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA is who the James boys are, and everybody knows it. And it was Tony Zane and some other clown who got hired by Jim Crockett and the NWA, who's against. What do you want?
Okay.
Jimmy Cornette,
Baby doll's
I
here.
dare you. I dare you to get in the ring during a match because you see, I have a little surprise for you. You see, because I don't think you'll get in any tights in the back because I'm going to put my curves in the tights because I've got a little surprise for you. Dusty and Magnum TA have taught me something that's going to blow the whole United States, the whole world away, and I'm going to put it on you, Cornette. That's my dare to you.
Sounds like a challenge to me.
Hey, I know what Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA have been teaching her. Baby doll, ain't no woman in the world can beat a man in a wrestling match. You want me in the ring, you fat hog, you got it.
Oh, my goodness, an irate Jim Cornette. This has not been his day. Coming right back.
Dude, so
Wow.
much about that was great. I could have done without the old fat hog comment at the end.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
different time. He was trying to get heat.
Different time.
That's what it is. But
yeah.
what a great segment and how fired up he was. But right now, instead of hearing from Mr. Garvin, I think we should have what you think he's saying.
Okay. Well, spray the air, sweetheart, because Jimmy Cornette just farted. That's right. And we had Steve Regal out here talking about Wahoo McDaniel. Steve Regal talking about Wahoo McDaniel. I'm supposed to talk about Wahoo McDaniel, but they send Steve Regal out. Do you know why? Trying to get over. We all try to get over. Ray Traylor couldn't get over his Ray Traylor, but now he's Big Bubba, right, sweetheart? Yeah, that's right, Big Bubba. You going to kiss me? Okay. Showing, she's going to kiss me. So anyway, go ahead, sweetheart. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about she needed to spray the air because something smelled kind of funky. I don't know if it was you I don't know if it was David Crockett. I don't know if it was Jim Cornette. Hey, it could have been Big Bubba Rogers. I don't know. Here's the fact that sooner or later, I'm going to get Wahoo McDaniel in the ring. And not only that, in a couple of years, I'm going to be in a big angle with the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And we're going to have a dream date angle with Precious. That's right. And then, Kevin Sullivan is going to get involved, and he's going to be booking, and we're going to have a lot of stuff that's kind of inappropriate. But that's the way it is. Those are angles. That's how we do it in 1986. We get away with a lot of shit in 1986 that you wouldn't get away with in 2021. Like calling, like Baby Doll, calling Baby Doll name, which Jim Cornette said. Now, I know he still calls people names today, but overall, you can't call people names anymore because people get upset. It's inappropriate. It's politically incorrect. Things have changed. You got to change with the times. Speaking of change with the times, my hair's going to be gray and short. Give me a smooch. Thank you very much. And I'm going to be flying a jet airplane, making money, making more money than most of these boys. Most of these boys are probably still at my age trying to wrestle. Let's go to the ring.
Rock and Roll Express out here now. Gonna be picking up an easy win. Look at the kids. They are so fired up about them.
Very quickly, the psychologist told me this.
Yes.
And you'll, because 40 is imminent. When you're age 40,
imminent.
When you're age 40,
yeah,
a quarter of your life is 10 years, right? Simple.
Yeah.
When you're 4 years old, a quarter of your life is 1 year.
Yeah.
So when you're 40, 10 years go by as quickly as 1 year went by when you were 4.
Makes sense.
So the older you get, the faster time flies.
How about that?
And I believe it.
Just like that, the match is over.
Just like that, the match is.
It must have been getting a little older because it went by really fast.
We turned 70 in a split of an eye. That was a 10-minute match when we were 4.
Oh, here we go. The Russians. What do you think they're saying here, Tony?
Okay. What the hell is going on here? You attack his mom? Oh, that's right. We did not mean to attack Sandy Scott, but we attacked his mom. Did you see her look at the camera? Do you think that she knew she was on camera? Hey, they could have taken another shot and edited it in. Back in Mother Russia, we know how to edit footage. They did not. They edited in her looking at the camera. Ha, ha, ha. So let me tell you this. I still, as a proud Canadian, have no idea what Chateauata means. But I do know, better dead than okay. I do know this, that the guy to my left, Scott Simpson, is a hell of an athlete. And did you know that Don Kernodle helped develop this character to my right? And did he realize that we'll be giving it to this guy to my right? I mean, you could have get any musclehead from Minnesota to have him shave his head and call himself Nikita Koloff. Could have done it, but it was you, Scott. You became Nikita Koloff. You're putting this big. Let me give you a hug. I love you. How you say fingers? How you say fingers? Let me also say how you say that. Look over here to the right. Look at them girls. I'm going to marry one of them because I'm Nikita Koloff. Chateauata. And I'll kick your ass too if need be. That's right. Nikita does all the work. I do all the talking. You know why? Because I've earned it. I'm one of the legends. I still smell that fart. Man, hey, so like it looked like I was smelling something there, didn't it? The way I was scrunching up the nose. I hope.
Maybe you had some flavor saver on your mustache from before.
I hope that since the Barbarian and the Baron are in the ring, I hope Shashka comes over and talks to us.
Oh, let's just see.
Yeah. Right here. Wouldn't it be great?
No.
Man. If we see a little inset in the box, maybe we'll get it. I don't know.
Oh, I still say Shaska, so we're good. We're good.
Yeah, okay.
I love that we've become, both of us, fanatical Shaska fans.
Yes.
I wish he was still with us. Can you imagine how much fun we would have had with him in person at a live show or
absolutely.
something?
Yes, sir, man.
I would have loved so much for right now him to bust in as a surprise run in. Let me tell you another thing, Tony Schiavone.
I'll cut your hair, sucker.
You're gonna be looking like a bald-headed geek next to that man in the mask and the man in the cowboy hat. That would have been so great.
Uh,
You know, TK would have used him too on Dark or something.
oh yeah,
Do special commentary.
sure. TK has a profound respect
Loves
for
the
that.
old stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Just like
Yeah.
me and you.
Yeah. The difference is between me and TK. There's a lot of differences, but one of the differences, he remembers each and everything.
Yes.
His retention is. I've never seen anybody like this in my life. I mean,
Dude, it's uncanny.
yeah, it is. He knows everything.
I know people sometimes say, "Oh, he's like a Rain Man of wrestling," talking
Yeah.
about other people's recall. Like in my group of friends,
Uh-huh.
anytime we're like, "Hey, what happened with so and so?" or "When was so?" we just ask Brian Rogers. He's like our wrestling Rain Man,
Okay.
dude. Tony Khan has forgot more about wrestling than I'll ever know.
Oh.
It's crazy, and I
Yeah.
didn't really think that until you start to have a conversation with him, and
Mhm.
it wouldn't even be like a town he was in or from
Right.
or whatever, and he'd be like, "Well, you know, back on the Indies in 1991, Taz was working a spot show in Jersey," and it's like, "Wait a minute, what? Where did I don't
He
know
went up-
anything about that." Like,
Yeah. He went over in 13 minutes and 45 seconds.
yeah, and he hit him with this. He was trying a new finish at the time.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do you know that?
Yeah. It's just the retention is unbelievable, uncanny. You know, Shaska's not there. Let's see if is he with me?
Paul Jones really has
No,
some power.
apparently not.
Well, Jones really. You're announcing voice right here. You're trying to find your groove still.
Yeah, I'm still in baseball mode, the old baseball announcer mode. By the way, the Trash Pandas playing?
Yes, they are.
Well, good. Are they drawing fans? They doing okay?
I mean, from what I understand, it's not totally sold out, but it ain't far
Yeah.
from it.
The old the Huntsville or the Rocket City Trash Pandas would have been in the Southern League had Major League Baseball not dissolved the Southern League, like the idiots they are. But anyway, that's a little commentary on baseball that I need to leave alone. But we're talking about Tony Khan's retention. Yeah, unbelievable. And not only that, his passion for it. I mean, we get together, right? Boy, you missed that headbutt. We get together and that's all he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
That's his passion. And that's why that's one of the main reasons, if not the main reason we're successful, is because of his passion to the business. You gotta have it.
He is a wrestling fan. And there's a lot of other people who are running wrestling companies who are not really wrestling fans.
Right.
Not shitting, just saying.
Yeah. I guess the WWE recently had a announcer leave.
Yep. The voice of Raw lasted 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear that, you got to think more and more, boy, I made the right call.
Woo.
Right?
I thought that when Eric Bischoff was shown hell, I thought that the first day I started working with Tony Khan. Boy, I made the right call. So, yeah.
Tony's a different cat.
Yeah, he is. Here he is, flying headbutt, boom. God, what an athlete. What just a remarkable freak of nature the Barbarian was.
And here's the deal. If he wants you to whack him off, guess what? I wonder if when that happened, if Shaska busted in the room. Let me tell you another thing, Tommy Young. I ain't been home in a month of Sundays neither. Here we go.
Update. God.
The Great American Bash, the 4th of July, the whole month is going to be the 4th of July. It's going to be a great family entertainment.
It really is. We talked about RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee, all part of the Great American Bash. We're talking about the best in entertainment, the best in music, and, of course, the best wrestling in the world. But, David, we talk about the best wrestling in the world. Let's talk about the world champion, Ric Flair.
That's right. Ric Flair is the world heavyweight champion. We have a message from the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, Bob Geigel, to the champion, Ric Flair.
Wow.
And it concerns the Great American Bash. Let's hear it.
From the world headquarters of the National Wrestling Alliance, here's NWA President Bob Geigel with big news for wrestling fans about the Great American Bash 1986.
I'm pleased to announce the Great American Bash 1986 is coming on tour to 14 cities in the United States. Promoter Jim Crockett is putting together one of the biggest, most spectacular wrestling presentations ever in the history of wrestling. the National Wrestling Alliance is real pleased with this. World champion Ric Flair will start it off and kick off with a big match in Philadelphia Veterans Stadium on Tuesday, July 1. In this event, he will wrestle one of the Road Warriors, Hawk, managed by Paul Ellering.
Now, Bob, as I understand it, Ric Flair is slated to defend the world's title 14 times in 30 days. A tremendous load even for a great champion like Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now, should he lose the championship on one of these occasions, what will happen with the other scheduled title defenses?
Yes, it certainly is something that will tax the champion, this many title defenses in 30 days. Should the champion lose to one of the contestants, to one of the challengers, the person that defeats him will take over and be the reigning world champion and go on and continue with the Great American Bash.
Very good. The Great American Bash coming all across the United States.
I'd like to take this opportunity on behalf of the National Wrestling Alliance and all the many members to congratulate promoter Jim Crockett for this tremendous presentation he's putting together for the wrestling fans in the United States.
From the world headquarters of the National Wrestling Alliance, NWA President Bob Geigel with congratulations to Jim Crockett Promotions on the Great American Bash 1986.
In the ring.
That's kind of cool. You didn't hear from Geigel a bunch back then. I dug that.
I did too, with the exception of his head kept touching the graphic up top. That was Rick Stewart, who worked with us, I believe, in '86. They brought him in for a little bit. I liked Rick. I like working with him. He had a great voice, great delivery, made it sound important. That was good. I totally agree, Tony. Yeah, there you go. Totally agree. What were we talking about? I can't remember. See, I'm not like Tony Khan. I don't retain a damn thing. I don't retain something we were talking about 5 minutes ago. I don't know what it was. Oh, I wanted to say that this is a small thing, but as we were going to the break, you saw Shaska, right?
Yes.
Holding the hair. You notice how he squatted down?
Yes.
Smart, because he knew the big guys were behind him. He didn't want to stand in front of them. Just something small. Just knew how to position himself in a camera shot. That's knowing your business, man. That's what that is. Let's see this. Ooh.
Oh, here we got another promo.
Out of that America, because that's what Baby Doll's going to look like. I have never seen anything so ridiculous in my life as a woman, even a big fat woman like that coming out here and challenging a man to a wrestling match. Baby Doll, you're jealous because you're not a man. You're jealous because you can't get in there and wrestle and be tough like men. And you're jealous of me because I look better than you. So what do? You come out here, you want to make a fool out of me. Well, let me tell you something, Baby Doll. I'm going to send you back to the kitchen, rattling all those pots and pans around and sticking those TV dinners in the oven, just like every woman in the world ought to be, because that's your place. And James, boys, I want you to take another good look at my friend Bubba. Because Mama told me that there is no way on earth that any harm's going to come to me as long as Bubba's around. And you saw NWA President Bob Geigel, the Fred Mertz of professional wrestling, out here a minute ago on a tape. Sure, he's happy to see skydivers and Great American Bashes and parties. But when it comes time to doing his job, when it comes down to suspending people, when it comes down to fining people, making people take masks off because they're cowards, he won't do his job. Jim Crockett Promotions, the NWA, everybody's against me, but James, boys, I'll get revenge, and Baby Doll, watch out.
We'll see you next week on World Championship Wrestling.
Dude, how great was he when he was jumping up and down earlier? Everybody knows it's Dusty Rhodes. And so good, dude.
I like how he called Bob Geigel the Fred Mertz of professional wrestling. If for those of you who don't know who Fred Mertz was, that was from I Love Lucy.
I had no idea. So
really?
Yeah.
You never saw I Love Lucy? Fred and Ethel, the neighbors?
I just didn't know everybody's names, you know?
Right.
It was like a show that my old folks watched.
Yes. Hey, classic TV there, buddy. It's timeless. I Love Lucy. It's timeless.
Let's mention very briefly what we're doing here. As a reminder, this is May 31st. When the show we just saw here from Atlanta. Later that night, they're in Florence, South Carolina, and it's Bobby and Dennis against Manny Fernandez and Ron Garvin. The next day, double shot, one in Charleston, South Carolina, and one at the Greensboro, North Carolina Coliseum. The James boys are going to take on Bobby and Dennis in a lights out bunkhouse match. We've also got Flair teaming up with Tully to take on Ricky and Robert. So pretty cool matchups. The next day on June 2nd, we're running Cumberland County Memorial Arena. Flair and Arn are going to take on Ricky and Robert. Then we do a TV taping on June 3rd in Spartanburg, and they have a dark match there, which has Ricky and Robert against Flair and Arn. But it's a TV taping, so you get matches like Wahoo and Thunderfoot. Raleigh, North Carolina is where you guys were on the 4th. You also had a show in Charleston, South Carolina on the 4th. So this is not a matinee situation, two totally separate cards. On one hand, you've got Dusty, Ricky, and Robert taking on Rick, Arn, and Tully in an elimination match, similar to the way that we saw Ricky get his nose broken. But the other main event in Charleston, this is interesting. One of the first times we've seen it here, Magnum versus Nikita. And it's at the Arthur Ravenel Stadium in Charleston, South Carolina. Central States would have a show where Ric Flair would come in to wrestle Sergeant Slaughter on the 5th. You guys were running Columbus, Georgia at the time. Norfolk Scope would be where everybody would be on the 6th. And the main event there is the James Boys defeating the Midnight Express in a non-title bunkhouse match. And then, of course, we're back doing TV on the 7th. Next week, what you've got coming up here on the show that we'll be breaking down are Ricky and Robert in action, Manny Fernandez in action, Arn and Tully in action against George South and Randy Mulkey. So that should be fun. Nikita Koloff will be taking on Todd Champion. Shaska will be teaming with Barbarian. Wahoo McDaniel in action. An easy affair for the Midnight Express. And Ron Garvin will close the show. But it's interesting because even though that show was filmed on the 7th, there was a very special Sunday edition on the 8th. Do you recall off the top of your head why that would have been?
No.
Of course, we know that we're building towards the big Omni show, which is June the 8th. And the main event of the Omni, again, what we've sort of been seeing, Rick and Tully against Ricky and Robert, this time a Texas Tornado match. And we would see Dusty and Magnum taking on Bobby and Dennis in a non-title bunkhouse match. Some of our younger listeners are probably not familiar. Chat me up. Can you describe a bunkhouse match?
Yeah, it's I think we tried to have one in AEW a number of weeks ago, maybe last year. But it's the old word was, and Nelson Royal would talk about this, and this was one of Dusty's favorites. It's come as you are. It's how guys who worked cowboys, when they worked, they all lived in this bunkhouse. And when they got in a fight, they would use whatever it is, come as you are, boots, tape fists, dressed up like cowboys, and a no-holds-barred fight. So basically a bunkhouse match, you would see a lot of guys in jeans and boots and T-shirts and bandanas and hats and using bull ropes and using whatever it takes to win a match. And it's kind of like come as you are, but in reality, dress as a cowboy. And so we've had plenty of those throughout the years. I always liked bunkhouse's matches.
Why did Dusty like the bunkhouse match?
Because Dusty, you liked anything cowboy related. I mean, that was him. That was him. Cody tells me the story that when he was a young kid and he was in Texas with Dusty, that Dusty wanted to go to a quarter horse museum.
Really?
Yeah. And Cody said, I don't want to go there. I don't want to see a quarter horse museum. But that's one of the things that Dusty were into. He was into, he's a Texas guy. He was into all things cowboy. So that's why I liked the bunkhouse match. And thus the bunkhouse stampede, right?
Right.
So
you like the bunkhouse stampede as a concept?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was a big pause there. Not so sure.
Not so sure. Not so sure. I like title matches.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I'm not gonna call them gimmicks because, well, maybe it is a gimmick match, but
well, of course the bunkhouse stampede's a gimmick match.
Yeah. I mean, I never did like bull rope matches or Russian chain matches or Indian strap matches. I'm sorry, Native American strap matches.
Oh God. Will you stop with that?
Okay. Or I never did like, I never have really cared for battle royals that much, or royales, if you want to call it that.
Did they have cheese on them?
What's that?
Did they have cheese on them?
Right.
No, I'm asking. The royales. Did they?
Royales. Right. Right.
No. Okay.
No, I know what you're getting at. Okay. This is not Pulp Fiction.
Oh, you know fucking everything, don't you?
Yeah. So anyway, well, you're really trying to get me, aren't you? You're trying to get me going.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, so I've always liked just one-on-one title matches, like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes back then, or Kenny Omega, John Moxley, or even tag team at world, title. That's the matches. Those are the matches I like, because back then, as a fan, when you saw a world title change hands, if you went to the arena and saw it, you were part of something special.
Right.
And we went to the arena shows, went to a lot of them, went to the arena shows back then for two things. Want to see a title switch, want to see blood, because you never saw a title switch on TV, at least back in those days you didn't, and you never saw blood unless you went to the arenas. So those were like the things, the brass rings, the things you wanted to go see. But of course, as the world has changed, so has pro wrestling.
Well,
thank God we can go back and revisit, huh?
No doubt. Hey, I want to briefly mention, have you seen the controversy this past week about John Cena?
No, I've not.
Well, I think it's worth a Google.
Okay. I stay away from all that. You do know that. It's just drama.
Stay away from Google?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'll Google, I don't know, I'll Google something, but I won't Google about wrestling. I won't get on social media and see all the drama that's there. You don't need that in your life.
I don't know what that means.
I do. You don't need made up drama in your life. You just don't need it. I mean, just be fucking happy.
Okay. That's an idea.
Yeah. Be happy. And when I look at social media, I see a lot of things I like, but then if I see one or two things I don't like, it pisses me off. I don't want to get pissed off. I don't want to feel that way.
Wait, so you don't like being pissed off?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you loved it.
No.
This whole time I was under a different impression.
Yeah, that's right. I know what you love. You love trying to get me pissed off.
Why would you say that now?
Because you're a fucking instigator is why. Okay.
Tony, that's hurtful.
Yeah, good. You are a fucking instigator. Okay. You cause trouble. Okay. Well, you're very good at it. Congratulations on that. Very good at it.
I feel like this is baseless.
Really?
Yeah.
Send it back to the archives. Listen to the shit that you've caused.
What have I caused?
Okay.
Let's run through it.
Listen, I don't know. General knowledge.
Just cite a couple examples so I know what not to do anymore.
It will take me some time to find it, but I could find it. Okay. And I'm sure I'm not the only one.
And I'm not.
I'm sure you've caused some shit with Eric Bischoff,
Never.
with JR, with Bruce.
Definitely.
Okay, yeah, let's see. Probably not Kurt Angle because he'll stretch you.
Fact. I'm super nice. I'm on my P's and Q's with him.
I bet you are.
With him and Horn, I'm on my P's and Q's, but I ain't scared of you other motherfuckers.
Okay. Yeah. Coming soon, Jeff Jarrett's going to be indoctrinated into your shit. Okay.
Well, he's got guitars though. Somebody saw something great the other day I think you would like. They suggested somebody on Twitter, and boy, I wish I had it in front of me. I'd shout you out. Hey, Jeff Jarrett should get into the gender reveal business. Smash that motherfucking dad with a guitar, and then poof, is it blue or is it pink? I was like, that's actually a great idea.
That is a great idea.
So I sent it to him. So coming soon to a baby shower near you. That's JEFF. Whack. It's a boy. It's tremendous.
Get up, son. You got a boy. You're gonna have a boy. Somebody help him up, please. Good stuff.
We don't need any help around these parts. This was fun today, going back. And I wish it was a little longer. I'm curious why they keep editing these, on the network to make them shorter.
Well, you know what? I think this was a short version that aired on TV that way.
Why though?
I don't know why, and the reason is if you go back to and listen to the beginning, you'll hear David say, we have a great hour of TV for you. So this could have been, we're in NBA playoff time.
Oh, I got you.
So we could have been shortened up, or the Braves could have been playing. And a lot of times,
what you're saying is you don't fucking know.
Right.
Right.
But I have a feeling it had to do something with programming. It wasn't edited down. This was an hour version of the show. So it happened. We liked it.
No,
Guys liked an hour verse. I mean, we don't necessarily, but when the guys were working in the mornings, they'd rather do an hour show than a 2-hour show.
well, we've got a lot of fun stuff coming your way.
Yeah, man.
We've even been talking to a surprise, if you will, that we're going to have join us sooner rather than later for special occasions and whatnot.
Yep.
We've had a lot of fun with 1986. So much fun that, I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm thinking we should keep the fun going for 1987.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Although 87 kind of becomes a disturbing year for us.
Well, I think that's what's interesting, though. You know, this year's sort of the best of times. Next year, we start to see the worst of times, but it's not all bad. I mean, we get the very first War Games next year,
Right.
so there's some opportunities there for 1986 and 87, sort of going back to back.
Mhm.
And we hope you guys, by the way, remember that you get all these shows early and ad free over at adfreeshows.com and, of course, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And Tony, I know you usually don't make time to go listen to podcasts, but I do want to bring you in on a WCW topic that was kind of controversial this week with me and Eric Bischoff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We just recently watched, because as you know, this past week, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of Scott Hall coming down the stands in Nitro, sort of the embryo of the NWO. That was 25 years ago this past week. So Eric and I watched the Nitro that aired that night and the Raw that aired that night, just for context. So
Right.
sort of see where the business was pre NWO. And all these years later, Eric still contends that the reason the angle worked is because Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were back for revenge from being Vinny Vegas and the Diamond Stud.
Mm.
And I said, okay, that may have been your bullshit legal excuse in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's not why it worked.
Mm.
Fans were believing this was a quote unquote outsider.
Right.
And at the time, all the magazines, the quote unquote after mags, they were always pushing on the cover sort of fantasy warfare concepts. What would happen if Sting wrestled The Undertaker? What would
Right.
happen if, blah, blah, blah. So now we can actually make that happen. So Razor, fresh off of WWE TV, shows up, says, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here.
Right.
You want a war? And he even mentioned specifically characters that were mentioned on Raw where they were sort of mocking WCW. The Nacho Man, the Huckster, Billionaire Ted,
Right.
Scheme Gene.
Right.
So it feels very much like, hey, this is retaliation, for what, blah, 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 blah. So I'm saying all that to say Eric Bischoff's full of shit.
Yes. We love Eric. Good guy.
Yes.
Have a lot of fun with him, but you're right. He is full of shit. And we all know, the world knows why it worked. And it worked because fans tuned it in and thought, oh shit, the shit's on now. And the war, it was on. And you know what? Everybody benefited from it. Took Vince a little while to benefit from it, but obviously Eric benefited from it. Great times.
But in your head, though,
Mm-hmm.
it's Razor and Diesel. It's not Vinny Vegas.
No, of course it's Razor and Diesel. Of course it is.
Here's my further evidence on that argument, and I'm glad you're on my side. If that was really the case, how come when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash had the microphone at any point during their run, never did they acknowledge Vinny Vegas or the Diamond Stud? Never.
Right. No. Not only that, when Diesel first came out, or Kevin Nash first came out, if I remember correctly, and I don't have the retention that a lot of people do, as we've talked about already on this episode, he got the microphone and he confronted Eric about what Eric was saying on camera about their show. In other words, everybody talks about me and the butts and seats incident giving away stuff, but Eric, who was announcing on Nitro, was giving away a lot of shit.
Yes.
That went on, and that's kind of they look past that, but Eric was giving away shit that happened on Raw, and Kevin Nash came out to confront him about that, or about making fun of them. So yeah, that's what it was about. Everybody knows that, but Eric maintains it's not, huh?
Yeah, to the point where we were arguing, and he said, I wrote the shit. What the fuck did you know? You were picking your nose.
Yeah.
Eating a Domino's pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't wrong. I mean, I was probably picking my nose, and I was definitely eating a Domino's pizza, but and that was a hurtful thing to say. But
well, you know what? You bring out hurtful things in people.
that's I'm going to talk to my mama about this.
You should.
My mama is going to have a talk with you.
Yeah, I know. You should have your mom on here with us one day. I know you would zip it up then.
Can you?
You would button up your shit then, buddy.
Let's be clear. My mom would tear you a new one.
Yeah, she'd tear you a new one for being an asshole to people.
No.
Oh yeah.
She would double down.
Oh really?
Yeah. You forget I was raised with Larry Thompson.
Yeah. Okay.
Larry Thompson's a ball buster from way back.
Yeah.
My dad was born to talk shit and swallow spit.
Yeah, bitch.
Yes. My dad has a tag on his classic Corvette that says, "Don't be a B." Like, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's, as you know, from hanging out with my dad, Tony Schiavone, are you really a Bulldog fan? Don't be a bitch. I mean, that's my dad.
Yeah.
My dad could have been a promo guy back in the day.
I know. I was just, when I first met him and he was watching that Alabama game, every play was, tackle him, you bitch.
Hit that motherfucker.
You bitch. I'm thinking, this guy's got his verbiage down, buddy.
And yet here we are. You know what we need to do? We need to dust off that idea we had. I guess it was a few years back, and you didn't like it, by the way.
No. What was that?
We need to do like a newlywed game for ad-free shows.
Oh God. Man, you do not want Lois Schiavone on this.
Yes,
we
do.
No, you don't.
Lois?
No,
I love Lois.
Yeah, well, you don't live with her.
Lois
Live with her for a week.
Lois is great. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Mm-hmm. And we'll be spending a lot of time with her too coming up.
Who is?
Me.
Oh, good.
Taking her down to Florida.
Really?
Yep.
On purpose.
On purpose. It's our 40th wedding anniversary coming up.
Oh, hell yeah. Congratulations, man.
Yeah. And so she's
You
going to go
thinking what I'm thinking?
No. I know what you're thinking. Ain't going to happen. So we're going to have the two dogs with us, and we're going to go to Florida, and we're going to go up the East Coast a little bit and see some relatives, and go spend about 2 weeks together away.
2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting divorced, is what you're saying?
Maybe. Maybe afterwards, I don't know. No, shit, if you've been married 40 years, you ain't going anywhere after that.
Let's talk about this. At your age, after 40 years.
Yeah.
10 years goes by like 1 year. I love you.
Great comics bring their
callback, baby. It's a callback.
It's a callback. Great stand-up comics go back to the same thing. That's good.
Hey, speaking of great stand-up comics, you and I haven't talked about this, and I feel awkward even bringing it up on air, but if nothing else, we're honest with our audience. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Did you know about Cassio?
What about him?
He lost his dad.
Yeah, I knew that. Right. And I sent him a text. I felt kind of awkward about calling him. I didn't know.
What do you say, right?
Yeah, I know. I just told him, and I felt bad because I know his dad meant a lot to him, and his dad was quite a character in himself. And so, yeah, I feel for him because, and we don't have when's the last time we had Cassio on this program?
I don't know if since he's got his own podcast now, Cassio's Cut.
Yeah.
He decided he didn't want to fool with us anymore.
Apparently so.
But we should have him on.
We should have him on.
I'm a big fan of Cassio.
Yeah, I have him do, I have him do a little, when we go to commercial breaks, not on Patreon, not on ad-free shows, but on Cumulus, we get a commercial break. Sometimes I'll have someone pitch to say, stop the tape, and here comes a spot. And I had Cassio's voice on there one time, which was very cool. But other than that, we need to have his cackle, because his cackle's something else.
Well, shout out to Cassio, who lost his dad. We hope you guys will check out his podcast. It's Cassio's Cut anywhere you enjoy podcasts. And you can even hear some special episodes where his dad did a run-in. And boy, those were the good old days. Those were
right. Good stuff.
Well, Tony, right now, it feels like it's about that time.
It is about that time. It's the end of the program. And ladies and gentlemen, here comes Shaska Watley, and he is great. He is dragging Dave Silva by the hair, and it looks like he's going to cut Dave Silva's hair. But no, wait a minute. Dave Silva stands up. He goozles Shaska Watley. Shaska's hat falls off. Dave throws him down, and Dave lays on top of him. Dave, stop squirming. You're supposed to pin his ass. Fans, someone get a flag or someone get a drape or something and cover up Dave Silva. He's squirming. Oh, we are desperately out of time. See you next time on What Happened When. We come to you Wednesdays on Cumulus, but Mondays we come to you on
Patron, patreon.com/WHW Monday, and of course, adfreeshows.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.